welcome back everyone to part 3 of our crochet along teddy bear. Last time, whoops, let me get that out of the way. Last time we started doing the body and we kind of stuffed our head. I put a little bit more stuffing in mine than last time. So it's still a little squishy, but it seems a little more rounded out. It's a little more stiff. You don't want it super stiff, you do want it a little squishy because it is supposed to be like a stuffed animal, not hard as a rock. So you should have left off on doing, what was it, 3 rounds? Yep, 3 rounds of 1 single crochet in each. So we are on round 26. And if you've done everything pretty well or pretty correctly up until this point, there's my stitch count, or my stitch row marker. You should have 30 stitches in your current round. So we'll go ahead and count those real quick. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30. So yep, we've done everything right so far. So now on to round 26. Today we're going to try to finish up the body and we're going to stuff it, and then I'll show you how to finish off your piece and tuck in your tail. So for this part, for the very end of this, you'll actually want a yarn needle, and I'll show you what that looks like once we get done with this. So round 26, we are doing 1 single crochet in the next 4 stitches, and then we're going to increase. So 4 stitches and then an increase, right? Because we want to make this bigger. All right, so we're going to start with 1 right here, and like before, we're going just under those stitches, or those 2 loops right there. So 1. I'm going to do a second one, and then I'm going to go ahead and take my hook out, and I'm going to move my stitch marker up. My row marker, stitch marker, whatever you want to call it. Grab it and pull it through. So I've done 2 stitches in this round. 3. Oops. 4, and then we're going to increase. We're going to do 2 in the same stitch. 1, 2. And we're going to repeat that throughout the entire round. So we've got 1, 2, whoops, 3, 4, and then an increase. 1, 2. Whoops, it slipped right off my hook there. Happens quite often. So it's the 2 stitches in that same spot. And we're just going to keep going. 2, 3, there it goes. 4, whoops, in, whoops, going into that next spot. See what I'm doing there? I've done, see, there's my increase. So 1, 2, 3, 4. First bit in the increase, second bit. There we go. One, 2, 3, 4, increase. 1, 2, 3, 4, increase. Come on, grab it, there we go. Pull out some more yarn, there we go. One, 2, 3, 4. We should have 1 stitch left, which we do, and that's an increase in that stitch. 1, 2. All right. So that was round 26. We're going to mark it off on our stitch mark or on our round marking sheet. And we're going to go to the next one. Next one is kind of the same thing. We're doing 1 crochet in the next 5 stitches and then an increase. So I'm going to do the first 2 and then I'm going to move my marker. Oops. 2. Go in the first one here. Grab my, oops. Marker, pull that through. Okay. So we've done 2, and then 3, 4, and 5. Like I said, we're doing 5 crochet. Yep, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we're going to increase. So we're doing 2 in the same stitch. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. Whoops, I'm sorry. See, I just keep counting, don't I? So there's my increase right there. There's the 2 in that one spot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then that first part of the increase, and now the second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, increase. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, increase. Oops. There we go. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, increase. 1, 2, pull out some more yarn. 3, 4, almost, 5. See, we got that last one there, so it's an increase. 1, 2. All right, we're gonna mark off our round. If my pen will work, there we go. And then the next round, we're just gonna do 1 in each stitch, 1 single crochet in each stitch. So at the end of this one and the next round, round 28, we should have 42 stitches. So if you want to go through and count them, go ahead and pause and go right ahead, but I'm just going to keep on going. It's just 1 stitch in each. I'm going to do 2 and then move my counter. Or my marker. There it is. And if this gets short, you can just pull it out. Just pull it out a little bit, and that'll move it up. See, I missed. Halfway around. Okay, we're almost there. Oops. And my last stitch. Maybe. If it'll cooperate. There we go. All right. And that was number 28. We'll mark that off. All right. And now we're gonna start decreasing. So we're gonna start making this whole thing a little bit smaller. Pull that out just a little bit so I don't lose it. There we go. But first we're gonna do 5, so 1 crochet in the next 5, and then we're gonna decrease. 1, 2, and again that squeaking you might hear is from the tightness of the yarn. Done 2, I'm gonna pull out my stitch marker. Three, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, yep, and then I need 1 more, yep, 4, 5, and then if you remember from last time, decrease was basically putting 2 stitches together. So we're going to go under the first part of the first stitch, grab our yarn, pull it through, and then we're going to go under completely the other one, pull through our yarn. So we've got 3 loops, and then we're going to yarn over and pull through all 3. And that's a decrease. You can see it looks like you put 2 of them together. So we're going to do 5 more single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then yet another decrease, and I'll show it again in slow motion here. Grab that first one, yarn over, pull through. We'll go under both of the second one, pull through, and pull through all 3. 1, 2, maybe. My hook likes to get stuck sometimes. Let me try that again. My hook got stuck on the yarn. Pull it out. Under the first part, yarn over. Under the second stitch, yarn over. Pull through all 3. There we go. If you practice these enough, you'll certainly get used to them. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now pull out some more yarn first. Under that first part, under the second stitch, and pull through all 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oops. Come on, work with me. There we go. Decrease. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, decrease. Probably the last set here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you should have 2 stitches left. We do, and that's just enough for a decrease. All right, let's mark that down. Number 29 is done. And then we're going to keep kind of going down from there. We're doing 4 single crochet, so 1 in the next 4, and then another decrease because we're trying to close up the bottom here. So again, I'm going to do 2 stitches. 1 and 2. And that one got a little wide there. I'm going to go back. I don't like it when my stitches get a little too wide. I'd like to try and keep them uniform. So let's try that again. 1, 2, much better. Oh yeah, much better. And I'll grab my marker. Three, 4, and again we're going to decrease. We're going to put these 2 together. Try to keep it a little tighter. There. There it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, decrease. One. Oops, almost. 2, 3, 4. Oops, there we go. I want under all of it. There we go. Decrease. 1, 2, 3, 4, decrease. 1, 2, 3, whoops. Oh, pull out more yarn while I'm on it. I'm redoing stitch number 3 here because I've only done 1, 2. So 3. Come on. 4, decrease. There it goes. Yep, looks like this is our last set. 1, 2, 3, 4. Got 2 left, so that's our decrease. and crease. Oops, almost. Decrease, there we go. I'm gonna pull that out a bit. Mark that that was row number 30. I'm actually gonna go ahead and go through and count our stitches just to make sure. I'm pretty sure everything's going right, but at this point we should have 30 stitches in our row. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. So yep, we've got our 30 stitches. Everything's going great so far. So I'm gonna grab our loop again. Oops, wrong end. Put the hook in it and tighten. So now we're gonna keep going smaller. We're doing 3 single crochet and then a decrease. And at the end of that round, we should only have 24 stitches, if done correctly. So I'm going to do my first 2, and then I'm going to move my marker again. 1, 2, 3, because we're only doing 3, and then decrease. 1, 2. I'm going to keep it going from there. 1, 2, 3. Decrease. 1, 2, 3. Decrease. Does not want to get past. There we go. 1, 2, 3. Decrease. 1, 2, 3. Oops, I just want the 1. There we go. Decrease. 1, 2, 3, and 1 more decrease for this round. Whoops. Crease. All right. I think we got 1 more round, or a couple more rounds of decrease. Just a couple more. We don't want to do too many more because then we won't have much of an opening to stuff it with. So now it's just 2 single crochet. 1, 2, and then make sure you move your marker. And then a decrease. See how it's gotten significantly smaller? One, two, D, and crease. One, two, D, crease. One, two, D, crease. There it goes. One, two, D, crease. One, two, and the final decrease of the round. Decrease. See, not only are our rows getting shorter, but it's really closing up this hole here. That was round 32. You can go ahead and start putting a little bit of stuffing in it now, but I'm gonna wait. I tend to wait a little bit on mine. Pull out my marker just a little more, just so you can see how it's looking. Pull out some more yarn here. Next, we are doing the same thing, except we're doing just one crochet and then a decrease. So we're gonna go one. From here on out, it starts to get a little bit trickier because our hole's getting smaller. So one, and then decrease. Decrease. And then I'm gonna move my stitch marker. There we go. But like I said, just one single crochet and then a decrease. One, decrease. Whoops, almost. There we go. See, now it's getting even more significantly smaller. One, decrease, one, decrease, whoops, one, so you have to kind of pull stuff out of the way. You got to flip it up so you can see more easily. What we've done, there's our decrease, and that's our one stitch there. If it's looking like they're kind of pulling sideways a little bit, that is okay. So I know mine tend to. Whoops, I'm on decrease. Oop, just the one, there we go. Decrease. And then I think this is our last set here. One, oh, come on. And the last stitch there, crease. See, now I'm going to pull my loop out a bit. Now that I've got a bit of a smaller opening, I'm going to go ahead and start stuffing. And don't forget to kind of put a little bit of stuffing in this neck area too. And if you want to stuff a little bit more into your head down further, if it helps, I tend to use the end of my crochet hook to kind of help push it in, not the curved one. That'll pull stuff out and you don't want that. You want to put the stuff in. So I've got my polyester stuffing right here. Gotta pull it apart a little bit. And yes, it does tend to shed a little bit like that, but that's all right. That's easy to clean up. And we'll just start stuffing. Up a little bit. If it helps, use your thumb or your fingers to help move the stuffing around. Put just a little bit further up. There we go. Oops, don't want to stick that in there. I'm going to stuff it kind of as much as I can and dare to at this point, because you don't want it to be overflowing, because some of it will get caught into your next couple of rows. And even if it does, that's all right. That happens. Don't go in. I want that in, not the string. I've still got some room in there. All right, and you also kind of, I still got a little bit of room over there too. Or was it? It was right in here. Yeah, right in there. Put just a little bit more in. All right. Just kind of move them around, shape it however you want. It doesn't look too bad. So it's a little firm, but it's still kind of squishy. That's perfect. All right. I'm gonna try and brush my little bits away here. I'll clean those up later. So there's our loop. Put our hook back in the loop. We've still got just a couple more rows to do. So if you've done things correctly up till this point, you should currently have 12 stitches, but we're going to do the same thing we did last round, the exact same thing. We're going to do one single crochet and a decrease. And here's where it's tougher, because as you go around, we're going to flip this up so you can see where you're putting your hook. Oops, my stitch marker's a little buried. Let's dig that out. Use the hook to dig that out real quick. There we go. You gotta be careful not to get the things you need to use tucked in there. All right, so one single crochet and then decreasing. And that'll take us down to 8 stitches in our round. So 1. And then a decrease. And your stitches are probably going to be a little bit wider. That is perfectly okay as well. I'm going to move my marker again. There it goes. So I worked in, and see this is trickier because it's all being pulled this way, but you can see I worked into this set, so my next stitch goes here instead. Single crochet. I'm gonna see if I can make that just a little bit tighter. There we go. That's better. Single crochet. And then decrease. We'll grab, whoops, if it'll cooperate. We'll grab that first one there, go under that. And go under all of the second one. If it helps, just push your stuffing back inside. So I worked in that one, this is the next one. One. Decrease. One. And then we got our 2 left there for our decrease. Decrease. Now I wish I could say that was our last round of decreasing, but we've got one more. We want to go from 8 stitches, which is what we have right now, to 4. So we're just going to straight out decrease all the way around. Pull that out a bit so it's kind of out of the way. It's not standing straight up. And if there's just a little bit of extra stuffing you want to put in there, now is practically the time for that. Otherwise you'll be using the end of your hook again. All right, so 1, decrease, so there's 1, whoops, almost, there's 1. I'm going to go ahead and pull that out since I know I'm only doing 4 decreases. But we worked in that one, so we want to go to this one right here. Decrease. So that's our second. We worked in that one, so we want to go to this one. Again, grabbing just that first one, D, and the next one's here. Crease, and almost done. We got one more stitch. Whoops, careful not to do that. Our last 2 are right here and here, so we want to grab just that first one there, D, and then go underneath both on the second one. Crease, yarn over, pull through all 3, and there you have it. And now you're going to leave a good sized tail. You're going to grab a pair of scissors, and you're just going to cut off. I'm going to leave a good sized tail here. I've got about a few inches. And now you just finish off. So to kind of tie off, make sure nothing comes undone, you just pull your crochet hook and pull that tail all the way through. And that just kind of locks everything into place. You can't undo any of it, it just sits there. And now you'll want to grab your yarn needle. All right, I've cleaned up my spot. I've got my body here, and I've got my yarn needle. So the difference between a yarn needle and a regular sewing needle is that the eye of the needle is much larger, so you can fit thicker strands like yarn through it. So we've still got this little hole right here that we need to kind of close up, and I'll show you how to do that. So you'll take your yarn needle and you'll put your yarn on it, your tail, just like that. And grab it and pull it through. And so now what you'll do, see there's the hole's kind of right there, right where the rest of those stitches are. So we're gonna go alternating in and out of these stitches, kind of like we're making a cinch here. Am I going in the right spot? I think so. Yeah, I think so. Just kind of going around here. In and out of the stitches. Okay, once you got that, you're just going to pull it tight, and that closes it up. And so now we just have to hide our tail. So what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to tuck it in, because you'll see the couple of loops there and there. I'm going to start tucking it in a little bit so it'll stay put. And this will just take a few minutes. You just want to tuck it into these spots here. And the way the way it works is the fibers of the yarn, they'll grab onto each other so that they don't slide back out. And this is called tucking in your tail. And a couple more here. You don't want to go through a strand of yarn. You want to go under it. Like through a stitch, not through a thread. Okay, I think, yeah, I'll do one more. I'll do one more right here. All right. All right. So once you've got it kind of tucked in there, we don't need to cut it off. We're just gonna slip it on through and hide it. I'm just gonna stick it through the bottom there. Let's go, I'm gonna go a little ways. Poke my needle out through here, pull it through. I'm gonna stick it back in and poke it out elsewhere. Let's go up here. Whoops, like I said, you don't wanna go through a thread. You want to just kind of go in one of those holes there. And then I'm going to go ahead and cut off the rest. So we've hidden our tail. All right. So this piece we can just kind of dispose of. And we're going to squish our body a little bit so that you can't see where the tail came out of and where we cut it. And just like that, you've got your head and your body. Ta-da! Join us next time for part 4 when we're gonna start making other body parts for it. Ears, arms, legs, all that fun stuff. See you next time.